Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scot Mendenhall and Friends podcast. My name is Lily, and obviously we have Allie with us. Allie, I
What's
don't even know
up?
your last name. Can you
It's
tell us?
Stanley.
Stanley?
Yes.
Allie Stanley. Perfect. Okay. Hopefully we sound good. I know we look good, Allie. We're looking really good today. I like your hair,
Yes.
super cute like that. I'm
I usually
actually
braid
running.
them, but doing
It's
a little
cute.
pig just to
I might do that when we're done. I'm running the show alone today. Scott and Holly and the family are on a little bit of a road trip, visiting family. And so it's just me and Allie. And I'm pretty sure there will be zero complaints about that, Allie. What do you think?
Yeah, I think everyone's gonna love it. I don't think anyone's gonna have it. I think you tell us in the comments. Y'all love it? Like, this is gonna be great.
Yeah, put in the chat if there's any complaints
Hesitation or complaint, like, why is Scott not on there? Where's Holly? What the heck?
Yeah, I see Scott in the chat, so he's definitely watching. That is very funny. Allie, if you want to reverse the interview and interview Scott, ask a question and we'll see if he'll put it in the chat because she's never even met Scott. He's the face of this podcast and it's just us.
Yeah, and I just got thrown on here with all I know is Lily. This is Lily's podcast from all I know.
Yeah, as far as you know, this is just me, and it's really not. I mean, we have a good time on here.
I know. I've seen videos. I've seen new podcasts. I've seen some of them.
Yes. So I'm super excited to have you, Allie, today. What people know about you is what I feel like I know about you. You ride Onewheels, you race, but tell us a little bit else that maybe people wouldn't know about you before we get into all the Onewheel stuff.
Well, I am a dental hygienist. I do that on the side. I say I'm a full-time one-wheeler, part-time dental hygienist.
Yes.
So yeah, tooth made. I go and clean teeth, save some dental lives around the San Diego area. So a lot of people don't know that about me. I have a pretty professional job, which is interesting because when you meet me, I feel like I'm the most chill person I'm pretty hybrid, but as far as professional wise, I'm
it's really
casual as it comes. And I'm like that as a hygienist too. I'm like, what's up, patients? But it's a little bit more professional, but it's weird being in a different, it's a whole aspect,
Yeah, it's two different ends of the spectrum, for sure.
Yeah, it's professional Allie. And then I'm like, what's up, Allie? Which I try to balance those, but
that's okay. I mean, it's probably fun to bring both worlds into each world. More of a fun-going world into the dental, what is it, an office? A dental office?
Yeah, office,
And then the seriousness, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, because I want to know how serious you get about racing, but into the racing world and into the one-wheel world. So, okay, so you're a dental hygienist. What else? Anything else? You posted on your Instagram last night a hairless cat. Do you own a hairless cat?
Yes, that is my baby. I love him. I've had him since 2019. And I used to have one prior to that also. I just love hairless cats. I think they're so unique and their personalities are just so cool. And they're not like normal cats. They just love to cuddle.
Because
how
are they not like normal cats?
I feel like in general, this is not true for all cats because I've seen some cats act this way too. But in general, most cats are very reserved to themselves. He is not like that. He wants to be with me wherever I'm at. He's following me. He's just so quirky and likes me to hold him, and he cuddles in my arm at night.
Wow.
And he's just like a big baby. I carry him like a baby. He's cool. He wants to be with me all the time. He's like a little monkey. Benji. Or Benjamin Boots, I call him.
That's awesome. Okay, so you're dating Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Hansen. Yeah.
How does he feel about Benji?
He loves Benji. He's actually allergic to cats and not allergic to him, so
he doesn't have hair.
Yeah, so. I know, but some people could still be allergic. But
really?
They're not completely hypoallergenic, but for the most part, yeah, it's pretty good. People are not allergic, but yeah, he loves him. He's
good.
Benji's my baby though. I always try to steal him from him, and then Benji will hop over to Kyle. I'm like, what the heck?
That's so funny. I love it. Okay, I feel like that's enough. But we want to talk about Onewheel. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
This podcast is all things One Wheel. Every week at 2:30 Central, we're on here doing reviews, and we have this segment, Allie, called Would You Ride That? And we rip videos from like Instagram or YouTube Shorts, and they're like crazy, like extreme sport things that people ride on, and we always interview our guests like, would you ride that? And so we do lots of different things, but one of the favorite things we do is bring people on that are in the one wheel world. So we have ALLIE Stanley today. ALLIE, how did you get started with one wheels in general?
So I'm from Texas originally. I had a friend that was into one wheeling, and I had hopped on the board a little bit, but never really rode it around outside or anything. And then my friend and I moved to San Diego, and I started riding one wheel around a bit more, started taking it outside more, trying to like ride a couple times a week. I started on XR, got really comfortable on it. Yeah, I got really comfortable on it to the point where I was like, oh, this is nothing. Like, I want to hop on the pint. Like, the pint was more gnarly to me because it's smaller, more nimble. It's like it's like less balance room. So I was like, yeah, let me get on that thing. Like, I got this. And then, that's when your first set of confidence, once you learn the one wheel, you think you got it down. And then I just completely just ate it at, like going across
on the
this,
pint?
On the pint. I hit just like a pothole, and I'd only rode it on streets and a little bit on grass. But yeah, I fell and like landed on my back and lost my breath, and I never wanted to get on the pint again. I was like Team XR all the way.
I have very similar stories.
Terrifying.
The pint is fun because of how small and nimble it is, which is why I love the Pint X, because it's a little more trustworthy. Obviously if the pothole's big enough, the one wheel can't take it. Like even a GT, you can just have a crater in the ground and it won't go over it unless you're like really good at the curb nudging, like you taught on the Wheel Fun Stuff YouTube channel. But I've had similar experiences with the pint. Like, I don't want to get on that thing. I don't trust it. And that's what makes the GT so awesome. It's so trustworthy. Yeah.
I have a Pint X, and I cruise around on it sometimes. I'm not as afraid of it anymore, but at that moment, I was like, never wanted to hop on that thing again. But it is pretty fun. It's just that pushback is honestly like crazy. I don't like it. It's even with the Pint X, it's less severe than the Pint. It still is like throws you off, like not physically, but you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
But so when did you get a hold of a GT?
So I'm sorry?
When did you get your GT? Like, when it came out?
I got it pretty late. I never am the one that gets stuff when it comes out. I'm not that person. I'm like, wait until it eventually gets to me. I'm like, I don't rush, not rushing to get an item. I want to make sure it's good and like, I just always wait. So it took me a while to get one, and I actually got it sponsored to me from Ricky. He's here in San Diego. He's One Wheel Flyers. He does a lot with Wheel Fun Stuff. He's a partner in Wheel Fun Stuff and does a lot with them too. But he sponsored Kyle and I with a GT, so we would split the GT. And so, of course, I knew that was Kyle's GT right after he said that. And so,
girlfriend.
Pretty much, it was our GT, but it ended up being Kyle's GT. And then Kyle ended up buying me a GT. So I got a GT months after everyone else, and I was still racing, I think at Dirt Surfers this last year is when I think people had GTs by that point.
Yeah.
And I raced on an XR, and I got second place, which is pretty good. And Rachel Payne got first, of course, because she gets it every year. She knows those trails like the back of her hand.
She does know them.
I'm pretty sure she was not on a GT either, but I'm not positive on that. But yeah, I just feel more comfortable on my XR. I feel like I can control it better. I think it's because I have more time on it. Yes, still. I love my XR. I'm a big trick rider too, though. Like, I love doing tricks. It's hard for me to decide if I like riding trails or tricks more. I would say trails because you can do tricks on the trails. Yeah. But I love the overall aspect of it. And with that, I feel like I need an XR because I can rip a trail just as fast as someone on a GT on my XR. It's just not as comfortable at those higher speeds. I feel like at higher speeds,
Yes.
GTs are more comfortable and
Yeah.
they're easier to approach that speed. But the whole like design of the board and how the board feels and how I have more time on the XR, I feel more comfortable on my XR.
Yeah. So since your XR is like your ride of choice, what mods do you have on it? How is it set up? What tire do you use?
I am so basic. I have flat pads. My feet are pretty flat, so I don't really like concave. So I just have normal pads on my XR. I have normal rails on my XR. And I have Bing bumpers, of course, because I like to do
Nice.
slides and they work really well. I have an enduro tire on that board right now. And then my other XR, I have mini fins on, and I just put a Trail Pro on there.
Oh, nice. How is
Other
it?
than that, I love the straight rails. Big fan of
Yeah.
just keeping it basic. Uh,
Do you like the Trail Pro?
I've only ridden it a couple times. I just got gifted one that my friend Cody and Joanna had, so they gave me their Trail Pro, just extra one they had, and I just put it on my board. But now my board is broken, so I have to.
Oh, no.
I'm getting it repaired. So now
Good.
I'm getting it repaired.
So were
now I'm
you
out
on an
conditioned
XR or
too.
GT at Wheel Fun a couple weekends ago?
I was on an XR. I
Okay.
did tail rails because I did tail rails the past 2 years and they work. It's perfect for the pump track, honestly.
Yeah.
And to me, I think a GT is harder on the fun race. When you catch tail drag on the GT, it's like a lot gnarlier than an XR. And if you're not completely like leaning forward on those like downhill ones, you're gonna, especially with the way you're going up and immediately
Right.
down, have to like lean forward. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are scraping, and I felt more comfortable on an XR doing that, and especially with the tail rails, it lifts that tail up, and it's literally perfect for that.
Yeah, it's just lighter.
Meant for that. It's meant for that, yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned Rachel having somewhat of a home field advantage just knowing the trails there. She is amazing at those trails. I was just there last Monday with her riding. And I want to know, would you say you have that at Wheel Fun then? Because you're kind of, that's your home fields.
No, because I never go there. I only go there
Really?
on Wheel Fun, the day of Wheel Fun stuff. That's a BMX track, so it's really just BMX riders mainly riding that, and we just rent it out for the day. So the only time I've ever ridden it is during the event, which is the same as everyone else.
Yeah.
This is the only year that we had a practice day before, and I went to get footage of people. I probably hit it twice I hit it twice on my XR. I'm sorry, I was on my GT. And I was like, man, this is pretty scary on my GT. But I was curious if I was going to do that or not. But I was mainly getting footage of people threw a little video together for like promoting it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I would say no to that. And also it's a little
it
different.
It would be okay if it was true.
Or I know. I feel like I would admit to that. Maybe the trails around here, yes, if we had like something go on, definitely. I think that's a little different too, because to me, the pump track, it is a different type of riding than trails. Like it's more feels like a workout. And you can see what's gonna happen. Like with trails, you never know. Like there's kind of like you never know if a rock's gonna be somewhere, or you have to go around this, or you just don't know. And with a pump track, you can literally see the whole track. You know where the pumps are. It's just literally getting that same like motion of doing it, and like really it feels like you went and worked out your legs at the gym.
Yeah, it looks like it would be a workout for sure.
Yeah, it's just a fun race. Yeah.
What's your partnership with Wheel Fun like, or your relationship with them? Do you work with them? Is it volunteer based just because you love it?
Just because I love it, yeah. And so when I first moved to San Diego and started riding one wheels around, I ran into I saw like 6 people on a one wheel, which shocked me because I've never seen that in Texas. And I had only known my friend that had a one wheel. Yeah. And now I'm seeing this whole group of people. So I'm like, what the heck? And I chased them down. And it's like AJ and his girlfriend Lauren, and it's like just people from Wheel Fun stuff there, and they're just talking to me about, they're throwing out like words like float life and fun stuff, and I'm like okay, yeah, sure. And then like and finally I'm like, hey, what the heck is Wheel Fun stuff? Like, what is this? What are you talking about? And they're like, oh, it's this like they were just in like they're sharing a music studio with their friend, and they would just set up a table and do like tire changes and stuff because Kyle and AJ were filming, and
Cool.
Kyle would be breaking the boards, and so they slowly made a company out of it.
That's awesome.
I pretty much met Lauren and AJ, and just and Wheel Fun Stuff, and just started hanging out over there and riding around more. Got introduced to the community more. Like there was I the events going on. I didn't even know you could take one wheels on trails. It was like all this stuff that was new to me. Oh, what got me into it though was seeing AJ showed me a video of Kyle doing tricks on the one wheel, and I'm like, you can do that on this board? Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was just for cruising, like by the water or on the street, but I'm seeing like these like skateboard tricks almost on there, and I'm like, I want to do that. Like, I think I can do that. So
That's awesome.
the first thing I ever went to was a trick clinic that they put on, and I learned to do a body
Wheel Fun
varial.
Stuff put on.
Yeah. So they would just like, it's kind of like people putting on group rides, but they just kind of put on a trick clinic near their studio at the time. And
That's so fun.
people would just show up in a parking lot, and they would just practice doing tricks like nudges, or I had a little like a kicker ramp, and like just doing little stuff. It was nothing crazy. It was literally just like a little ride in a parking lot. And yeah, and then that just got me hooked on it. I was like, I can do these tricks, and it's
Were
fun.
you
It's
into
so
board
fun.
sports before One Wheel?
No, that was another thing I was
That's
going to mention when
shocking.
you said like a new thing that no one knew is, yeah, I've never did any sports, not even just board sports, no sports. Like I'm an active person, but I was never like committed myself into a sport or
Yeah.
trying to learn something. I would just dabble in things, like I'll play volleyball here and there with someone, or I did cheer one year. That's pretty much the main sport I've done.
I cheered too.
But board, yeah, just 1 year. That's all I did, and I was like,
we learned. That's awesome. We learned that Allie and I are the same age, so we already have that in common. We have the one wheel stuff in common, and now we know that we're both cheerleaders. 1 year counts.
Like,
that's awesome.
I do that all the time. I'm like,
that's so fun. Okay.
But yeah,
I totally diverted from my list of questions that I already sent you. Okay, let's talk about your experience in the pro division. When did you start racing? What was your first race?
Dirt Surfers was my first race, 2020. And I raced pro there.
Wait, hold on. Your first race, you went pro? You just did the pro division? Was that terrifying?
No, I was never scared of like starting to race. Like it's different. Okay, it's scary when you're in the middle of like doing the race, but the thought of starting to race didn't scare me. I was like, that sounds fun. Like I know I'm good, and I know I'm fast, and it doesn't matter how anyone else is to me. I'm like, I'm trying to see how I'm doing on this race.
That's awesome.
And I think I placed 4th place, which is really good for my first race, and I was very proud of myself. And
awesome.
Then from there, I was like, I'm pretty fast. So, I just tried to pay more attention to like board control and things I need to work on as a rider. And by the whole end of the year, after a whole year of racing, you see these things you consistently do on mess up on races, and you figure out what you need to do to fix those things. And so I'm taking those things. I'm still a new racer. I've only done the 2 years of racing, and this is my 3rd year. I've never competed anything, even in cheer. I didn't do competitive cheer. It was just high school cheer. So there's
wow.
The competing's new to me, very new.
Would you say that Kyle is your coach? Like, does he help you?
Not like yes, but not like we go train or anything. It's not like that. Like it's like I just pace him pretty much or whatever. Or he coaches me more with tricks, I would say. Like I ask him a lot of questions of how to do things. But as far as riding, he doesn't like we don't like set out times like, okay, we're gonna go practice and ride. But it'd be like group rides. He's really fast, so he's usually up front, and I'm trying to I like to be right behind the first person because I don't know where I'm going, so I just like to follow that. And on the group rides, I'm just following whoever's leading, and it's usually like Kyle or someone who knows, and I'm just like trying to rip behind him as close as I can. So that's like, I guess, practice for me in those moments. So in that way, yes, but it's so subtle. I feel like I don't take the racing very seriously. Like I'm into it, but I'm not like into it. Like I'm like
Yeah,
whatever happens, happens. I'm having a blast doing it,
that's
and
awesome.
I'm performing well with me being like that.
I
I feel like I'm a
know.
pretty even level of competitive. Like I'm when I'm into something, I can get competitive. Like I'm like okay, like I'm doing it, so I'm gonna try my hardest.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna try so hard to where like I'm gonna be upset at myself if I don't perform as well. It's okay if I don't, and I'm just trying the best that I can with taking on those key notes that I've learned throughout the years of racing. So like I used to just send it as fast as I can, and was falling off my board all the time, and that would eats
Yeah.
up your time. So I've learned you have to slow down in spots. It's very
Yeah.
important to. That's part of racing is controlling your board around those spots. Then you can pick up your speeds in other spots, and like yeah, you're fast, but you have to hold that and like
Yeah.
in
The
those
art of it all.
areas to use it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that and like just I'm trying to learn to. Well, I messed up at Race to the Rail this year with I almost got third, and Rachel Payne, of course I boosted her up in the middle of the race. She fell off her board, and I passed her in the beginning. I passed her and I was like, just breathe. And then I like zoomed and I was like, oh, I got this because she's off her board. Like Rachel and Mercedes were already like up front, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get third. Like I'm gonna get third for sure. So I'm going and I turned my head before I get on like the single track to go down to the bottom, and she's right behind me. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
so I started like zooming, and I'm like, this girl's like chasing me. And then I made a rookie mistake of letting my backside open to her, and I had a
Okay.
clean line, so my vision wasn't to her. And I had a clean line open for her to pass me. So
Oh
she
my
just like, she
gosh.
told me afterwards, she said, I felt so bad for like, she said, I felt like I was taking advantage of you. And I was like,
I could see
no,
her
you was
doing
like,
that.
I was like, take advantage of me, please. I messed up.
Yeah. That's awesome. I remember seeing all of that, the fall, and then you catching ahead, and it was
Yeah.
very
She
exciting.
was like, you told me to just breathe, and I was just, that's all I needed to do. And I was like, man, I should have held that in. I'm like, I'm just kidding. No, I like
I know
talking
I
to people
struggle
on
with that too
races.
in competition, like cheering on the competitor, and
It's
it's
fun
always
though.
like, wait,
It's fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It
so
makes
funny.
more fun racing. It's like makes it more fun racing with that person. It's like not as like when other people are like joking around or like you make it so lighthearted. It's more like fun and not so like I'm gonna beat you at this.
Yeah.
It's more like a friendly race, which is what it should be to me. But
Yeah, that's definitely the vibes I'm gauging onto, like just being able to see as I'm around some of these races. I've only been around one race, and we'll be at Dirt Surfers this year. So, are
yes.
you
What was
planning
your
to be
other
there?
race? Uh,
Windman.
Windman. Oh, I wanted to
Yeah.
go to that one so bad, but it was just like so much in that whole year. I don't know if I want to try to go to that one, but it's I gotta plan. It's so hard to plan all this.
I know,
But
and
yes,
that's
I'll be
pretty
at
far
Dirt
from you.
Surfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're close. That's close. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be at
But
Dirt
yes, I'll be at
Surfers.
Dirt Surfers every year. I'll be there.
The trails out there are so much fun.
There,
So much
I
fun.
feel like if you think you know how to ride trails, you need to go to Dirt Surfers and see if you really know how to ride trails.
Yeah. Well, so
They're
I'm
pretty gnarly.
I'm only used to the trails here in Minnesota, and obviously like out in Wisconsin when we went there for Windman. And I don't know, I really like the rocky trails over
I do too.
at
It's
Passion
fun.
Play. It's fun.
Uh huh.
The trails
It
here
is
in
fun.
Minnesota are really rooty, really uneven, and there's obviously tons I haven't explored, but I love Passion Play trails. I
Yeah,
love
they're
them.
so nice. When the trails are like sideways and even like that, it's so hard to like hold my balance on that. Like you're like so
Yeah.
far like toe side or
Yes.
heels.
Are
Like,
you regular or goofy rider?
goofy.
Me too. There you go
Yeah. Oh,
again.
we got a lot in common.
Are you left-handed?
I actually when I was little learned to be I learned left-handed, and then I learned right-handed and favored my right hand. So
Okay.
I do a lot of things left-handed, but I write with my right hand and like throw with my right hand. But most other things I
Nice.
do left-handed. Like
Nice. I write with my left and everything else with my right, but I'm a
that is
goofy
so
rider.
funny.
It's very similar. Okay, Scott does want to know who is taller. Should we guess each other's heights?
Ooh, I don't even
I'm
know.
actually
Like I can't even. Okay.
I'm not surprised
Um,
he asked this because there's always conversation about my height, and that probably gives you
I
insight that
think
I'm
you're
not
taller
that
than
tall.
me.
You think so?
I think you're 5'3".
Okay, then you're shorter than me because I am
Oh, I shouldn't
5'3".
have said that. I shouldn't have said it.
What are you, 5'1"? No, 5'2".
Yeah. I'm
5'1"?
5'1". Yeah.
You're little. I
Yeah.
feel small. So you're gonna, oh, that's so fun. I love
What's
it.
your height?
What's that?
What's your height?
5'3".
Oh, I'm so good at that.
Yeah, you were right. She's literally only seen this much of me, and I've been snapping pictures of the studio so we could show her what this looks like because I'm alone and I want her to get the full experience. So good job, Allie. She's so
I feel
slick.
like
Okay.
we're probably like pretty similar next to each other. Like it's just small people. But that's
Yeah.
pretty short height.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Do we want to talk about the weekend at Wheel Fun? Other than you winning,
Yeah,
how was it?
it was a good time. We do so we go to last year we did this too. Last year we went to a roller rink and had like a kind of trick stuff set up and DJ playing, and it was just fun little vibes. This year we're at a derby track, which is interesting. It was through the whole weekend really. So there's the day at like the roller rink derby track. We have a party at Will Fun Stuff like the next day or vice versa.
Cool.
I'm so bad at the schedule. Everyone always asks me and they expect me to know, and I'm like, I'm the wrong person to ask. I'm just following along with the plans. Like they're telling me where to go.
Yeah.
So then we have like a day set up with food here and music, and we had live music this year and just people hanging out at Wheel Fun Stuff.
Cool.
We give recommendations of trails around here, and then we just have the fun weekend race. So I think it's more like a full 3 days.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
like
fun. A lot of fun.
And it was I was nervous. This is my 3rd year, so I was like, am I gonna take it the 3rd year in a row? Because I won it the last 2 years, and
wow.
This year was way more women riding, so we had a lot of fast women there. So it's definitely more of a competition this year, and I somehow still got away with it. Mercedes didn't make it easy, but I made it.
Yeah. So when you see Mercedes doing like jumping jacks on the side, and like she is the opposite of you, I feel, when it comes to competitiveness. Like you're
she's definitely into the racing. Yeah.
Very easy
but
going.
It's weird. She's still like she likes to talk during the race too, so which is cool. So she's not
that's cool.
Like during the race she'll say something like during a real fun race it was funny because during the second heat, like whoever took this one was getting first. We were going and I almost fell at the beginning, and she was like, "Get it together, Allie." And I was like, "Oh, I do need to get it together."
I
was like,
awesome.
"Oh my gosh!" But yeah, she'll talk during the race. So she likes to cheer on the racers when she's going, but she's definitely I feel like more focused and like trains a bit more and takes it a little bit more serious in that sense. And I think has competition experience too. I'm not positive on that, but I'm not like I don't know on what, but yeah, she's definitely, and I think with Austin too, like Austin's really into competition and he knows like the outlines of stuff. He's really smart with that. So
he is.
I think they got a little duo going, a little race duo going.
They do, and I think it's interesting. Like in the one wheel racing world, it's not been around that long. And you have like your Mercedes and Austin who take it very seriously, jumping jacks, find the line, like calculated everything. And then you have racers like you, and I'm sure you're not alone in this. You probably know more than I do. But I'm excited to see at the end of the day, does it take such calculation to win? Because here you are also winning. So it's like,
that is the question, and Mercedes this past year has done so much better than she was. She had injuries previous year, so she wasn't really racing, and then she just like excelled like crazy. And I think it does matter in a sense of how much time you're spending on the boards. They had moved into their car and got the ability to travel around and hit all these trails all the time, so that in a hand does give you an upper hand with you have more time on your board. That's just facts. You spend more time doing something, you're gonna be able to control it better. But as far as like even at events and stuff, I don't hit the trails too many times for practice. more of like a wing it type of person. Like I hit it a couple times just so I'm a little familiar, but my brain is like, I have no trail memory. Like I could hit something and forget it. I mean, I don't even remember the trails at Passion Play, and I've been there multiple years. I just remember liking them. I remember how much I like something. I'm like, I liked it a lot, or I liked it okay.
I'm sure that helps your comfortability too. If you remember that you liked it, there's probably an increase in confidence.
I'm like all the time trying to about feeling. I'm like, I definitely don't try to take it too serious, because I think if I do that, I would be a little more hard on myself, which I don't. It would make it not as fun for me, and so I'd rather just like flow through it and see if I happen to get first place. Whatever I did, but I'm not.
And it's fun getting first place. We can't deny it is fun.
It is fun. It's definitely like, what the heck? I got first. Of course, like everyone's trying to win when you're racing, but it's weird. It's like the mental level of how much you're trying to win and how much you're trying to push it, and
yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many fun people in the chat. We should say hi and pause the questions. Michael Lee Lockwood says, Allie, our hometown favorite one-wheel pro. Do you know who that is?
Yes, so I met him. This is so funny. He knows I'm from like a smaller town in Texas, like Galveston County area, south of Houston. He knows some of my family members, which is so funny because he's into one-wheeling, and him and his son came up to me. I always mispronounce his name. And,
Declan?
But they came up. Declan? Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't even know. I've
never
guessing.
heard that name until I met him. So I'm like, I love that name, but I'm like, I keep like mispronouncing it every time I say it. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm from Lamarck, Texas. It's like a smaller town right outside Galveston, and I'm like, what? You're from? You know him? What? And so yeah, I met him, and he was at Race the Rail this past year, like watching.
That's so
fun.
It
was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Small world.
I love it. Kyle's in the chat. Your man.
What's up, baby?
He said she killed it at Fun Weekend. We have Jurgen. I know you're watching all the way from Germany. Shane watching from New Zealand. Scott is in here as he drives. Timothy. Thanks, guys, for hanging with us. And Allie. Cody Shred says, what's up, Allie? I don't know.
That's who gave me the Trail Pro. What's up, Cody?
There you have it. I love it. Okay, we got a few more questions for Allie. If you have any questions for her, I will try to look in the chat. If you jumped in late, I'm here by myself today. It's just me with Allie. Scott and the crew are traveling, and so we're just holding down the fort. Someone says, did you know Allie's sunroof is her entire roof? LOL, but question, Allie, what is your favorite trail so far?
So I posted a video. Comment? I posted a video on my Instagram story yesterday, and I had multiple people hit me up thinking my sunroof was like a painting on my roof or something, because it's like a panoramic sunroof, so you can see the clouds. And like I was like, they're like, why do you have that on your roof? And I'm like, it's a sunroof. What are you talking about? So that's what that was. But his question is, what is your favorite trail so far? That is so hard to answer for me because I have no trail memory. Like I don't remember what trails I'm at, but I remember really liking. I recently went up to some Tahoe trails. Dave Stewart and Austin Silva showed us around over there, and awesome. They're so pretty. Like you're on the edge of this crazy drop. Like I don't know, if you lose your board, which I almost lost Austin Silva's board. That side note, but we caught it. So
oh my gosh.
And Logan from that does all the building with Future Motion. He builds like some of the Ranger Danger and stuff. He was there. He helped me catch the board. Like it almost just like the sand just like took it down. It would have fell. I don't even know how many feet down. It was crazy. But yeah, so Tahoe trails are beautiful. I love dirt surfer trails. I always say I love going over there. Those trails are great.
That's awesome.
I like when trails are rocky. Like it's a technical to get across it. I think that shows a lot about your riding, not that you're just fast, but you can maneuver around these efficiently. And I love that about trails. And when there's little spots that you can like hit little berms, like I love when there's that too.
Yeah, dirt surfers has so many of those. Someone wants to know if you've ever been to Ohio.
Ohio's for lovers. No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I haven't been yet. No, I've never. I don't know. I would love to go there. I haven't traveled the most traveling I've done is now. Like, I never got to travel growing up, so whatever trails I'm hitting is there at these events is my
Another pro
most
to the
traveling I've
one-wheeling.
done.
That's awesome. Okay, let's go back. I kind of jumbled up our questions. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. What is some advice for someone who wants to get into racing but is totally intimidated? Like me.
All
I don't
right.
know that I would say I want to get into racing, but I am doing it. Like, we're racing. We're going to come and race at these
I would,
races. So what would you
yeah,
say to
I would
someone?
say just first thing is figuring out why you're intimidated. One, a lot of people with their emotions like have any emotion, have an emotion and don't understand why they're having it. So figuring out what's causing your intimidation. Are you nervous of losing? Are you nervous of doing this? And if so, why?
Yeah.
So figuring out that, and then just knowing that, especially as a woman in one wheeling, it doesn't matter how you perform or what. People are gonna love women getting into one wheeling because there's not a lot of
Yeah.
women that race with one wheeling. There's a few that one wheel, but racing is a lot differently. And like when you're seeing a girl like shred it down doing something, that people just are mind blown, honestly.
Yeah.
So I would say like figuring out what's causing that intimidation and trying to overcome that, and just knowing that you're going to be very supported in racing. All the women are decently fun to race with. Like, and most
Yeah.
people are pretty great to race with. Some people are more fun than others, but it's just for the most part, it's fun. Yeah, I don't know. And then you can find what makes it. Kyle likes to say that feeling you get before racing, it's a lot of people think it's like you're anxious, but it's really just excitement, and you're like turning it into anxiety. So he's really good at flipping the switch of making it excitement, and like he knows he's excited to ride this trail.
Right.
He's not nervous. Like, why? You're not nervous. You can do this. Like,
Yeah.
you're not like anxious about it. You're just really excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. Those are technically the same emotion, but how we react to them are different. And I think too,
Yes.
like we do this every Wednesday, this podcast, and we're always talking about different things. And most of the time, now I could be wrong, so please don't get offended. Not you, Allie, the people that are watching. Most of the time, it's just guys that are in the chat and that are hanging with us, which is so fine with me. But I will always love to see more girls in the chat. I want this thing to expand. So, what do you think is like the obstacle for more women getting involved in one wheel?
I think a lot of women are afraid of hurting themselves as far as racing and like getting really into one wheeling.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them will cruise around, but it's not. A lot of people are in the position where it's not worth it to them for their job, for their family, for if something were to happen. So that's definitely understandable. You definitely have to be into it, and yeah, I don't. There's safe ways to ride. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
push it past your limits. You can race and not be like going crazy. Like, just stay safe and doing it. And like
Yeah.
people love that you're even like being active in it. And like it doesn't matter if you got last place. They were like, sick, you raced. Like,
Right.
we just love seeing women race and anyone race. Like, it's just fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
It's just it literally is how you react to it. And yeah, taking whatever when I was first started one wheeling, I would only do things if I had a little bit like spark in me that felt like I could do it, like I could do this safely and land it, or like a trick, for instance. Like, I'm like, I have a feeling I can do it. I'm definitely gonna try. Like, I'm for sure, like, no question about it. I might be
That's
nervous.
awesome.
I might hesitate the first couple times, but I'm like, I'm gonna do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's a willpower. It's a mental block that it's just learning to get over,
Yeah.
and then just learning to read yourself and trust yourself and your abilities.
Yeah, for sure. Someone in the chat wants to know if you use Sure Start, and if so, does it change the game?
I don't, but I want one. I do
Yeah.
really, really, really want one because my GT. This freaks me out about the GTs. The footpads have been funky since they came out, but I have my board posied, so it should activate. So when a posi is, if no one knows, is instead of there being a sensor on the front pad, the two sensors, it bridges it to one sensor, so you can
Yes.
have just one touch point anywhere, and
Yeah.
the board will turn on even.
It's like
Well,
the poor man's
even with
Sure
that,
Start.
I'll get on my board, and it will. cut out. I'll start riding, then it'll cut out and then cut back on. And I'm like, that is so scary. And it's made me almost fall multiple times. But I want to get a sure start for sure.
Yeah.
Sure start. And
Yes.
I just need to get it. And I think it will make a difference personally.
Yeah. I love the sure start. It's so, I mean, it's just a sure start. Like,
you have it?
No, I don't have one. Scott does on his board. And it's, I mean, it is a sure thing every single time.
You're going to start, like, no question about it.
Yeah, there's no question about it. We do a lot of races where each of us have a GoPro and we like pick a track or whatever that we're going to do. And a lot of times, especially in winter, we're like riding in UGG boots or whatever can keep our feet warm. And also that's flat enough to ride in because you can't ride in Vans in the middle of winter here. And most of the time, because your feet will freeze. Most of the time, the winter boots do not activate the sensor. And so we're all like struggling and Scott's just like zooming by because the sure start takes it. It's awesome.
Have you seen the Vesk Fokker boards? And I saw someone running and jumping, doing like a Lamont start where you just run and jump on it, and it activates immediately. Like as soon as they're on, they're going. And I thought that was crazy. Like I want that.
Yeah. What do you think about Vesk?
I think it's interesting, and it's to me, like I said earlier, I'm not into the new stuff, so I wait for people to use it and see how it goes, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I used to not be so into it, but it's starting to get more advanced, and it's piquing my interest a bit more, and I'm seeing how it can advance the riding. The thing is just now we just have to, that brings it all into the whole talk with future motion and racing and being able to have control of our own boards. So it's like, I have multiple boards, so I'm pretty sure I want to turn one of them into one of my XRs into a Vesk. I would love to do that.
That'd be awesome.
Because I see it advancing, and when I saw that video, that kind of changed my mind a little bit more.
Scale.
I was like, that is cool. I was like, that is going.
Yeah, and I think like from what we can tell in the one wheel world, it's advancing, like whether or not people like it. And obviously future motion, when it comes to racing, is going to have the final say. But like Scott's talking about vesking, I think an old Plus that he turned into a growler a while ago. And it's like, why not see and have one just for fun?
You could do them in all these sanctioned races, and like if your goal is to get to race to the rail, like if you feel more comfortable on those, you can use that. But it's good to have a stock board if you're planning to do race to the rail, and
absolutely.
And they're getting a little bit better with that, and we're trying to work with them to do all this, but we'll see how it goes. The community's doing pretty good too with putting all these events on, and like
they are.
We'll get it going. I think I'll get figured out one day.
Clark wants to know, do you enjoy tricks or racing more? And she actually already answered this, so I could answer it for you. But go ahead. Yeah. What did you say earlier?
No, tell me, Lily. Can you answer? Well, I actually said between tricks and trails earlier.
Trail riding, that's true.
But this is
a
little different.
I don't technically know the answer.
If it's racing, I honestly prefer tricks more. Like I would rather do a trick competition than race someone, and that's just because I think doing tricks is
like a thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually did. This could be related to racing actually. If someone's not into tricks, but there was Wheel Scorcher in North Carolina last year. Not this past year, the year before. I went there and they had a trick competition, and I feel like I'm pretty good at tricks, but I was excited, but I was at a skate park and that was a little different for me too. We get 2 rounds, and the first round I just literally ate it, every single trick I did. It was so embarrassing. I was like, I don't even want to do my second one. Like, I don't want to do it at all. I went and sat in my car for a little bit because I literally hurt myself, and I was like, I don't want to do the second round. And then I was talking to Jamie Shreds, do you know what I'm talking about, with the dreads?
I don't.
She was at Race for the Rail.
Cool.
not this past year, the year before. But I was talking to her, and she does tricks and stuff too, and
Yeah.
she rides for Float Life too.
Awesome.
But she comes. She doesn't come to a lot of events. But anyways, she was like, I would rather do something and like instead of like regretting later that you didn't do
But you
something.
didn't.
And then I was like, you know what, you are right. And then
Yeah.
I did my second round, and it was way better. But
That's
still
awesome.
I didn't get Rachel Cecil took first in that, and but yeah, they do trick competitions. I tried to talk to Future Motion, like the marketing with them, trying to see if they could start hosting trick
Yeah.
comps. I think that would be fun because that's what got me into one-wheeling the most, is seeing all the tricks, and I think is just the most fun when you can get into that flow of like just hitting all these tricks. And you can
That's
same with the
wild.
trail riding, but it's just different.
Yeah.
And competition is scary because everyone's staring at you and expecting you to perform well right then. It is
Yeah.
definitely more, I say almost more scary than racing, but I have more
I
fun
could
doing
see that.
it. And I think Future Motion should acknowledge that part of the board more because it can do that. And it's, I think might have more women start doing it too. If it piqued my
Oh, yeah.
interest, like it might pique someone else's interest that
Right.
maybe is not into racing, but they want to do tricks on the board and stuff. And I don't know. I think they should highlight that more because you don't see them showing that, and it's a really fun part of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your
And I
favorite
think it's
trick?
really good to learn tricks on the board with racing too, because it's like an overall control of your board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. What is your favorite trick if you had to choose one?
Nose slides, I would say.
Oh my gosh.
It took me, yeah, I love doing nose slides. You can just do different variations of them. And that one just took me, I learned it pretty quick, but I sat for 3 hours straight. Or Uber Eats food to me outside somewhere because I was just going back on a parking block like for 3 hours, like kept doing it. And I finally like understood how to do it. And then like, I was very committed to that trick. And now I do back
awesome.
180s off of things. I love doing those too.
I was looking at your Instagram and I was like, that is impressive. I've not really done much with tricks. They scare me. So if we're ever
yeah, you're like,
out,
I'm not into that.
I'll let you teach me because I just don't even know where I would start. Like I am the opposite of you. I saw the one wheel tricks and was like, I will stay as far away from that as I can.
So that's where we're opposing. We have everything else the same.
Is.
One wheel styles.
I'm not opposed to learning, so I think it's just going to take the right person.
You should learn a curb nudge at least. Like,
okay.
I have a video out. If you haven't seen it on Wheel Fun Stuff, not you, but everyone. If you haven't seen it, Wheel Fun Stuff. ALLIE teaches a curb nudge. There's a lot of other fun videos on there of just fun stuff that we do over here. Kyle mainly gets into some stuff. They go ride around. They make stuff and do stuff on the board, so go check out their channel.
Yes, I've definitely seen that video, and we all love the examples of like smashing the bug and all the other things that how you teach it. It was cute.
Those are all things that people have tried. That nudging took me so long to learn. I learned like every single trick besides nudging, and it was embarrassing. I was like doing all this crazy stuff but couldn't nudge up a curb, and then it finally clicked one day, and my explanation of it was everything everyone has tried to tell me, and me putting it all together and like with 3 examples. I'm like, there are 3 steps.
That's awesome.
But that's really important. I feel like it's like more necessary than just like a trick. Like, it's pretty cool.
It kind of is. It kind of is a necessary thing, especially on like a group ride.
You don't want to pick up your board.
Yeah, no, don't want to do that. It's so heavy. Okay, that'll be my summer goal, to learn how to curb nudge. Does that seem doable?
Another thing you can probably work on prior to that, it would help with racing, is bonking, because if you hit some roots or rocks that come up, you can bonk over those, and like, and it helps a lot with racing as well.
Okay, she's giving me homework, you guys. I love it. Okay, one more question. Are we ready? Last one.
Yeah.
Where are we going to see you in the racing season? Someone already asked, are you going to be at Lemonade Float Fest this month? I think it's the last weekend of the month.
Yeah.
Are you going to be there?
Yes. So I will be there. I was going to say that's the first one. I had to write these all down because I get lost with which events. So my for sure cannot miss it ones. I'll be at Lemonade Float Fest for that festival and the underground race near Austin. Then next we
Awesome.
have near Las Vegas, Let It Ride, going to
Yes.
that one. We have Dirt Surfers, of course, in Eureka Springs. Shredfest, cannot miss it. Never. What? No, not gonna miss it ever.
That's awesome.
And then we have Race for the Rail, of course, if I get a spot. Those are facts. Hopefully, Race for the Rail is a fact.
Yeah.
But those I'm definitely going to. Other ones, I want to try to go to Windman. I don't know if I can or not. There's also the Float the Highlands in Scotland. I really, really want to go, but it's just
That would be amazing.
I don't think I can. Just the timing of it with Shredfest and how far the flight is, and me still having to be a dental hygienist. It's kind of hard to balance all that. But that whoever can make it out to that would be so sick to be able to go to the first event there in Scotland. So yeah, that'd be fun.
Be awesome.
Oak City Shredfest, I haven't been to that one yet, so that piques my interest. And then Flux Movement, they do Burning Flux. That's going to be going on. I went last year, and that for sure I'm going to this year.
Nice. Yeah. So what's the obstacle with Windman? Is it time or like getting out here? Because you could fly to Minneapolis. Both? You could fly to Minneapolis and use my board to race. If you want.
You have GT or?
I have a GT. We have an XR, but it's
I'll
not
do
mine
GT.
to give. It's not mine to give, but I'm
You're not
sure.
racing?
What's that?
You're not gonna race?
Well, I'll race too, but we can race separately.
Oh, I see. Because is it time trials?
It's it's an enduro, and
what
will
is
be in
the
the amateur division.
Oh, so it'll be in different ones. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
We do have an XR also that, I mean, it's not mine to say you can borrow, but we'll wait for Scott to offer that. I think he would. If that's your obstacle,
I honestly
he would offer you guys to stay with us.
I do prefer a GT with racing because it is more comfortable at higher speeds.
Great.
It really depends, because if they're really rocky trails and the thing is not speed the whole time, then an XR might benefit me more. I don't know. I would do both. I can do both. She can do both.
Well, I got you for sure. You can use my GT. Last year, I didn't have a GT, and Mercedes let me use one of theirs, and so it's my turn to
give.
Yeah,
you're like, pass
it on. So you can fly out here, and we'll drive up there together. That would be so much fun.
What is the dates?
I think it's October, and I see Midwest Onewheel in the chat. I have it in my calendar. October 6th, 7th, 8th.
Ooh, my birthday's October 3rd, so that can be my birthday trip.
Come to Wisconsin for your birthday. What a dream.
Sounds like
it's
a blast.
Actually so pretty there that time.
I bet the trails are beautiful. I haven't been there, so my family are Packers fans, so.
Okay, that's like fighting words. I don't know
why, but they all are.
That is so random. Those are like fighting words for us because we're Viking fans, but I'll let Scott deal with that.
I didn't say that. Sorry, Scott. Vikings fan. Go sports.
Yeah, go sports. Oh, I love it. This has been so fun, Allie. Do you have any final thoughts, comments, questions? I told Allie that we want to do this again if Kyle wants to join. Kyle, if you're still watching, you're invited to join. When Scott and Holly are back, we'd love to hang with you more, and I'm sure he would want to pick your brain as well. But I've had fun with you.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I thought we handled it well. This was good.
We did so
good.
Yeah,
final thoughts. I would just say shout out Will Fun Stuff. They're always bringing the vibes, having fun. They're great. Then shout out Flux Movement. They've been day one for me. Love awesome. Flux. That's my always go-to. And then of course Lemonade. They're my other day one. I love them. They've been the pretty good sponsor for me and helping me out a lot with getting to these events, getting me out there riding. So I appreciate that. So shout out to all that, and thank you for letting me do this podcast or inviting me on. That was fun.
Yeah, thank you for joining. It was fun, and I've never thought I want to have my own podcast, but if I ever did, then I already accomplished it.
You can put that on your resume. You're like, I have done one podcast by myself.
Yeah, interview skills off the charts. All right. Well, thank you, Allie. I'll let you log off, and then I'm going to say bye to everyone, and then I'm going to try to end this somewhat non-awkwardly because I'm the only one on the tech table and in front of the cameras. So.
I just cut it off. Like, all
Just
right.
cut it
Well,
off.
bye everyone. Thank you for joining in the chat, chatting with me. See y'all another time. Stay tuned because I'm going to be on this podcast again.
Yeah, she will be back. Bye, Allie. Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay, that was so fun. I don't see any other questions in the chat or anything, but thanks for hanging. I'm going to log off. I actually brought the mouse over here so I can end the stream and say goodbye to you all. Have a great Wednesday. We will be back here next week with Scott, with Holly. They'll be back in the tundra of Minnesota, and we'll be here at 2:30 p.m. Central to talk all things Onewheel. We were just over in Eureka Springs with Rachel and Nick riding the trails, so we have footage, we have things to tell you about from that trip. So make sure you are here at 2:30 next Wednesday. Other than that, that's all I have. Bye, guys. Okay, I'm gonna log off.